Rakadash, giving our praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakadash.
I can't be defeated.
Do you believe that America and Americans want Conor McGregor to win more than they want you to win?
I don't know.
Do you care? Americans now, that's what we're talking about.
I love America. I love this country. I fought for this country in the 96 Olympic Games. And I'm gonna be the first one to tell. I'll be the first one to tell anybody. I'm not an African American. I'm an American. I was born on American soil. But I did go back to the motherland, and I love it. And made millions going back to the motherland. But I was born in America, and it's no different from the. We're gonna go into the Floyd Mayweather mind. So when the Europeans came to the Native Americans, well, they like to call them Native Americans, but the Indians' land. We don't call them European Americans. So I don't want to be called an African American. I'm an American. You know what I'm saying? You can call me a Black American, but I'm an American.
So if America,
when
on August 26th, go ahead.
When I competed in the Olympics, they didn't say fighting an African American. They said that American that's fighting out of the red corner or out the blue corner.
So you're an American?
Absolutely.
Bleeding red, white, and blue. Of course I am.
Absolutely.
Of course I am proud of it. But here's the deal. If America on August...
One thing about me, I don't forget where I come from.
Neither do I.
I come from poverty. I come from poverty. I come from the hood. I come from the streets. And I'm the American dream. I work my way from nothing to something.
So with that being said, America should appreciate you. If on August 26th, they're rooting for Conor McGregor instead of Floyd, how's that going to make you feel?
I'm going to be thinking about this. It doesn't matter. All they doing is putting money in my children's account at the end of the day. At the end of the day. Like I said, man, I'm a strong individual. Nothing can throw me off. Nothing can throw me off key. I'm always focused.
They're rooting.
And I'm the American dream. I work my way from nothing to something.
So with that being said, America should...
And there you have it. That's why I'm going to name the title of this lesson, Israelites Love America. So like he said, he the American dream. Like he said, he loves America. He bleeds white, red, white, and blue. You see, and that's the mindset. And a lot of that has to do with money, of course. Just like he was saying, his bank account, the money, the American money, the American dollar, with that Edomite face on it. You even see that with Brothers in the Truth selling out for that money, for the love of money, It just goes to show that, because, day in and day out, I think to myself different thoughts, They say, well, I ain't going to give myself that much credit, but, they say certain men, they talk to themselves. And that's how intelligence, you got to speak to yourself. You got to have, the spiritual you has to speak to you, you know what I mean? And that's a lot of ways how you're able to get victory over the flesh, is that you have this spiritual side of you. Even though the flesh is willing, you got the spiritual side of you that's like, nah, keep the laws to the best of your ability. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing in this truth right now, is getting our spiritual side together and our mental together for when all hell breaks loose. But, sometimes I think that, why are we not out of this place yet? The Lord told us what it would take for him to come back and save us, and this place to be done with, and us to go back to the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? But why aren't we doing those things as a people? You know what I mean? And the answer is this, what you just seen on this video, is that, Jake loves America. That's why we're still here. Jake don't want to leave. Even the guy that says go back to Africa, right? Jake don't want to do that. Jake don't want to go to Africa. Jake don't want to rebuild from nothing. Shit, when Martin Luther King was around, Jake didn't want to even be segregated. They love America and they love these people. And that's why we're still here. But thankful to our Lord he said that this time he ain't gonna save majority. You know, it's gonna be a minority, 1/3 that's gonna be saved. Everybody ain't gonna be saved, even though they're gonna be reborn back in the kingdom. This is Hosea 5, verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face in their affliction. They will seek me early. Right? So the Lord said, look, he gonna return. He gonna go and return to his place until we acknowledge our offenses, which is not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, our sin, and seek the Lord's face, right? But we know that that's just not going to happen. Why? Because Jake loves America. So that's not going to happen until a such thing called Jacob's trouble come. And that's why it says, in their affliction, they will seek me early. So when that Jacob's trouble come and that affliction come, insurrection on those that believe in the Lord, then that's when people are going to start turning towards the Lord, saying, "Please save me, please help me. What did I do wrong? I want to follow the Lord." But as of right now, you got Hebrew Israelites in almost every city going out on the highways and byways teaching the truth, but don't nobody care. They walk right by. They never return. They don't care because that affliction hasn't happened yet. Even though our people has always been trodden down, we always been a trodden down, oppressed people, but they gonna have to turn up that affliction for us to get it. Because right now our people love America. Our people is worried about making money, becoming a rapper, becoming a YouTube star, becoming an actor, becoming a singer, moving out to LA, Hollywood, and becoming an actor or some type of reality television personality. Our people is worried about money right now. Our people love America. They wouldn't rather go to any other place on earth rather than America. If the Lord was to take 1,000 Hebrew Israelites right now and take them to just the desert somewhere and give them a city, our people still wouldn't want to leave America, man. They'll look at it, but they wouldn't want to leave America. And a lot of that has to do with the money, and a lot of that has to do with what I was dreaming about last night. Is these people are haters of God, man. Like it says in Romans 1. They are haters of God. They hate the Lord, man. And even our own people. You see, this is Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. So the money and the man face that's on the money, going back to the Edomites, the Caucasian man, that's who our people is worshiping. That's who our people is following. For you to say, just let's just break down the hard facts, the bottom line. For your people to be taken in slavery from the west coast of Africa, put on boats and brung here and put in slavery, and have been oppressed ever since. Or some people think, our people was already here, which both things could be true at the same time. So for your people to already be here, and the Caucasian man, the white man, comes over and take all the land, because they have all the land, right? This is the United States of America. Take all the land, make rules up on it, kill, rape, steal, split up families, and you're still under these same people that did that to your ancestors till this day, still being oppressed by these same people to this day. And for you to be a member of this group that's oppressed and then turn around and say, I love America. It's like, what? That's the bottom line. That's the hard facts. That's the bottom line hard facts without feelings. That's the truth. That's what's going on. But why would this wasn't in 2023, but here in modern days, why would a so-called black man, which is an Israelite, say that today? Well, the system. Well, a gift destroys the heart. Well, money. They were able to become financially abundant, have a financial abundance. Now they can have the finer things in life, even though they're never going to be able to own real resources. So like, even if you take Floyd Mayweather, he could own jewelry, diamonds, gold. He could own homes, skyscrapers, companies, and stuff like that. But can he go with all his money he got? Could he go purchase American land and actually own it. Now, of course, you may say, man, you could go buy land and own it, but you still got to pay property taxes. So if you're forced to pay somebody property taxes, you're forced to. You can't say no. You have to do it. Do you really own it? So then it's really still owned by the government, because you don't own, like, even your house, you got to pay a property tax on. So do you really own it? No. When you own something, you ain't gotta pay nothing on it. It's your property. Nobody can take it. You know what I mean? If they do try to take it, then that's an act of war. You see what I'm saying? So you get the illusion of you own something, but you really don't. So can he do that? No, he can't do that. He could buy as much land as he wants to, but guess what? He's still indebted to the government. He's still underneath the government. He could be richer than individual members in the government, but guess what? He's still under them because they make up the rules. People don't make up the rules. That's a lie. That's a deception. People don't make up the rules. The government makes up these rules. There's rules passed that's not even laws that's passed that's not even voted on. The military, or you would say the Pentagon or whatever, they do whatever the fuck they want to do. The people, you're not dictating what they do. Because where was the vote at to supply Ukraine with weapons and money? Where was the vote at on that? Where was the vote where everybody had to go down in every city and put in a vote to do it, yes or no? See what I'm saying? So you can have all the money in the world, but you still ain't gonna own anything. He still got rules. So like if he shoots somebody, he might have good lawyers. Possibly he could beat the case, but it's possibly that he can't. He still has to get clearance to fly on his private jet. He still has to have permit. He still has to stop at a red light. If he sees a green light and he drives through a green light, then there's punishment. We had this argument with a lady that came down to camp, and she was saying that she is free. And we were saying, how is you free when you got to get permission to do everything? If you want to drive trucks, guess what? You got to get a CDL. You got to get a license. That's getting permission. If you want to drive any car, you got to get license. You got to get permission. You got to get a license plate. You see what I'm saying? If you want to build onto your house, you got to get a building permit. You see, you want to start a business, you got to get a business license. That's all. That's you getting permission to do all these things, man. You got to get IDs. You got to pay insurance on stuff. Insurance is mandatory on cars. You got to have insurance on the car. You see, so how are you free when you got to get permission and a say so from the same people that took your people into slavery to this day? We have nothing of our own where it's like, oh, well, so-called black people own this, and you got to get the permission from them, and they get the final say on this. That don't fucking exist, man. So it all goes back to those people that's on the face of your dollar, because everything you do, you use what? You use that dollar for it. You want to go buy your kids some Pampers, you want to go buy your kids some Pampers or some milk, well, you got to use that American dollar. You can use credit, but that all goes back to the dollar too. Or a card, that all goes back to the dollar too, and whose face is on it. So in order for you to buy your kids some Pampers or some milk, guess who you got to get permission from? The same people that took your people in slavery, the white man. Because whose face is on that dollar? So he's saying he love America. He worth billions of dollars. Kanye West worth billions of dollars. He'd rather get on their internet and complain to them on their internet, on their technology, as if that was going to work out for you. Look how that worked out for him. Why didn't you just move in silence and let's just say you go back to Africa like the dude said, right? And go buy, what is Akon trying to do with Akon City? Go buy 2,000 acres. Go buy 4,000 acres and build you up a city there, and then build you up an army so you could protect the city. But Jay-Z's not thinking about doing that. 50 Cent's not thinking about it. Floyd Mayweather's not thinking about doing that. He's not thinking about getting sovereignty for his people or true freedom for his people. He's not thinking about that. What is he thinking about? Buying mansions, cars, jets, making money with models and women. That's what Jake is thinking about. So our mindset isn't focused on our people and the freedom of our people. Our mindset is making more money and being more acceptable in Esau's system, the white man's system. That's where our mindset at, and because of that, that's why I'm going to name this, Israelites love America. And then if you even want to get deeper, right, and you want to look at the ones of us that know we're Israelites and call ourselves Israelites, it's a little term that we say we're in the truth. The ones of us that's in the truth, even them, not all of them, but even them, the ones that's in the truth, the ones that goes out on the highways and byways, even them, even they love America. They just got churches mixed with the Hebrew Israelite stuff as a disguise. But they still making money. They still focus on making money, the American dollar. And they don't really believe and they don't really want to leave this place, man. Because they focus on making that money, right? They do the Hebrew Israelite stuff like, okay, like it's a chore. They do it. And then they go back to their regular day lives. And then they go work for money in Esau system. And then they find the weekend and then they do the Hebrew Israelite stuff. Which we have examples in the Bible of how the apostles, because everybody likes to talk about the apostles' doctrine, right? That's what we always talk about, is doctrine. So let's go back to the ones that was actually, before they was apostles, they was disciples, the ones that was actually with the Lord, that walked on earth with him. How did they do things? This is Acts 2 and verse 42. No, verse 41, it says, then they that gladly received his word were baptized. So this is people, Israelites that were baptized, that received the word. Now watch this. In the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls. So what camp has had 3,000 people added to them in one day? Even IUIC ain't did that, even though they may have that many members, but not in one day that were added. It says, and they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine. So everybody's talking about doctrine, right? So let's see. In fellowship, in breaking of bread, and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles, right? And all that believed were together and had all things common. No, everybody separate after camp, go work your jobs on the plantation, make videos throughout the week, and then come back on the weekend the next week and then do camp. No, they stayed together. Kind of like what you see when you look at the small hat, the Jewish man. They have communities. They live together. Ain't no we separate and we together until the end come out. Which one of these groups is doing that? They ain't doing that, man, because they love America. They can't get out of that regular life. They still got to go to the plantation. Some of us is forced to do that because we not with big camps. But the big camps, y'all got no excuse. Y'all got enough money, because watch this. Verse 45. Verse 44. And all that believe were together and had all things common. You can't expect me to have everything in common with you and we're not even together. When you get together, live together, then you grow together, and then over time y'all have everything in common. I think that's the problem. The camps that say they're not for unifying the camps. How you gonna unify somebody by just getting on the internet and screaming at them and talking shit about them and trying to supposedly expose them, and then say you need to believe what I believe or you're going off? You're an enemy to them. But as a brother, if y'all live together, it's easier to correct somebody as a brother than them looking at you as an enemy, right? It says, now watch 45, and sold their possessions and goods and parted them to all men, and every man had need, because they didn't care about the money and the wealth of this time. They were more focused on, look, we know we may need these things to do some things, but they sold all their possessions. But what I say, Jake loves America right now. They not finna sell. Just imagine everybody that know they a Hebrew Israelite right now. All of us that call ourselves Hebrew Israelites and say that we're in the truth, right? If we sold our house, I got a house. Let's just say I sold my house, sold all my cars, all my possessions and goods. That's talking about jewelry. That's talking about, man, I know over $10,000 in jewelry, maybe even 20,000. So that's 20K from one person. And then my house, I probably could. I mean, I ain't putting all my business out there, but I probably, if I sold all my possessions, it'd be hundreds of thousands of dollars. So That's just one person. So imagine if, well, Vocab Malone said that there was like over 1 million Hebrew Israelites. So imagine if we sold all our possessions and put all our money together, how much money we'll be able to come up with. It'd be millions, if not maybe hundreds of millions. That's enough money for us to come together and build a city, if not big communities. But you don't see Hebrew Israelites doing that because they love America. They don't want to come up out of her. And this is the one thing, even though Pastor Dow is off on a lot of different things, but this is the one thing that he has over the Hebrew Israelites is his building community. So he actually goes to this precept and uses it, and he actually is living it. Right? It says, and then they parted them to all men as every man had need. And they continually, daily, this is everyday thing, with one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house. So if it was house to house and they living together, what does that look like? That's a community. Just like in Egypt when we were in slavery, our people lived in communities. Now we all just scatter out, and then you have ghettos in every city. But this ain't about just all Hebrew Israelites. It's about the elect. That's why I said us that claim to be in the truth. You know what I mean? If we came together and lived together in communities, right? It says, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God and having favor with all people. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. So you might say, well, how are we going to do that when we have to be in every city in order to teach the truth out there? Well, it's the same thing with them, the apostles of old. How did they do it? Because they said they were house to house, breaking bread in communities. They continue daily together. So how did they do it? That's the same answer, man. That's how you do it. So what camps got 2, 3 city blocks that's their community that they live in and they fund everything. They got hospitals, they got banks, everything within inside this community. Closest thing you're gonna find like that is in Atlanta, which is Black Hollywood now, but they not in the truth doing it. So that's the difference. These brothers, it says they received the word and were baptized. So they was in the truth with it. So that's the difference. And then everybody come with fear tactics to say, well, Esau's gonna destroy you. Esau's gonna do this. We tried doing that before, and it came to an end. Did we ever try doing it in the truth? With the truth? No. So in the past, they didn't have the truth. They didn't have what we had today. Not saying that they didn't have parts of it, but they didn't have the full picture that we have today. So that's the difference. Black Wall Street came to an end because even though it was black people being successful, that don't mean that they weren't wicked there. Were they following the law, statutes, commandments as a community? No, we don't have no evidence of that. So of course it was going to come to an end, you know. But where's there's a Hebrew Israelite community that's following the Lord, that's in the truth following the Lord, then that's when it's going to be protected and Esau's not going to be able to bring it down. Because remember at the end of Acts 2, the last paragraph, it said, and the Lord added to it. That's the part. See, when y'all reading the Bible, you have to pay attention to detail. That's why you're never done reading the Bible. You continue reading it over and over and over and over again to get more detail, more clues, more pieces to the bigger picture. Right? This is Revelations 18 verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye receive not her plagues. Guess what? Floyd Mayweather, this ain't gonna happen for him, man. Because he not gonna give up his billions of dollars. So when you get something called the MOTB, the mark of the beast, that come, and you gotta translate to the over to that new system, what you think he gonna do? He's gonna do it. This is why Yahweh Shai gave us the parable of the rich man. And no, this does not look like, well, I'm a billionaire and I'm gonna hold on to my billions to the very end, and then as soon as the kingdom come, I'm gonna let go of my billions and then just translate over to the kingdom. Now I'm in the kingdom with billions. That's not how it's gonna work. You gonna be tested to see if you gonna give up. See, the kingdom's not just gonna come without a test. We gotta be tested first before we get the kingdom. Yeah, y'all think we just gonna be going out on the highways and byways, ain't nobody really messing with us like that. We just go on the highways and byways and teach and put videos up, and then one day we gonna wake up, the end gonna come, and then we gonna be in the kingdom. That's what y'all think's gonna happen. That's not what's gonna happen, man. You got Jacob's trouble. You got insurrection on those that fear the Lord, us that's in the truth when they hunting us down. You got the MOTB, where you gonna have to make a choice to give up everything and suffer for a while until the Lord comes back and save you if you be the elect, or just keep everything and live good for a while until the Lord comes back and destroys you for taking the MOTB. So that's gonna be the dilemma. So with that, I'm gonna say salvation to the elect, Shalom.